signal.
Yeah, I'd rather ensure that, so it's fine.
Okay, we'll crank the game. Yeah.
All right.
Welcome back, Ship to Shore Podcast, Episode 8.
Episode 8. Oh my
Golly.
gosh. I can't believe it now.
Yeah.
We're 8 episodes in. I can believe it.
Thanks for joining us again. Welcome back. Gosh, how much fun are you having doing this? This is awesome.
So much fun, and I'm thankful that we're able to do it. I've
Yeah.
been really grateful that we've been able to connect and just enjoy each other and other people, all the connections we've made.
Made
Thank
a
you
lot of new
guys.
friends. This is cool.
A lot of new friends. We had a very, very sweet neighbor. Hey, Amy. That sent us a Facebook message, and it totally made our week. And I had a shocking sort of, I guess, I don't know if it was a realization or if it was just a good, awesome reminder that, we're different and we're black sheep and we're whatever, but, people like us. People even love us.
Yeah, shockingly enough, and agree with us on things, which is awesome.
Yeah.
We're not as black of sheep as we thought, but we still feel like we stick out like sore thumbs
Yeah.
most places that we go.
Oh, 100%. Even more so now. So thank you for those kind words, Amy. And we would love to hear from anybody that wants to shoot us a DM or email us, text us. We hope y'all enjoyed the Mother's Day clip for our intro
Yes, happy
this
Mother's
week.
Day out there,
Happy Mother's Day,
all you mamas.
Happy Mother's Day, Rebecca, and Courtney, and Jackie, and all the people we love in our family. Aunt Ruth. Who else? Mom Corey. Gosh, I can't even name
There's
them
too
all. I've
many.
got 800.
Who knows
About
how many
50
moms are
little.
out there?
I got 50 little aunts, uncles, cousins. Well, uncles wouldn't matter for Mother's Day, I guess.
Well, it's 2023. You can be an aunt or an uncle. You can be an uncle aunt. You can be an auntie uncle.
What is it
It
you
don't
were
matter.
telling me about? You said something about their.
People are identifying as amputees, and they feel like they were born with too many limbs. Oh,
Not that.
Oh.
Although that is
Another
questionable.
episode.
But the thing about how like men can give birth.
Oh,
Isn't there a
there's
way
a
they
man.
can do
Yeah,
that?
no, it's because they go on all this like hormone replacement,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't have surgery done, so they still have a uterus and they still have all of the mechanisms to make and have a baby, and get in vitro right in there, and it's a pregnant man. It's freaky looking, but it's, I don't know. Maybe he just had a beer gut. I probably should have read the article more, but I'm pretty sure it was real.
I think I've seen that article
Yeah,
before.
it's definitely possible.
That's wow. I
Yeah.
mean, anything is possible, it seems, these days. But happy Mother's Day to all the awesome moms out there,
Happy
and
Mother's Day.
aunts and grandmothers, and all the women who have raised us into who we are and nurtured us and loved us. We love you and we appreciate you.
If we left you out of that video, don't tell us.
Please,
Sorry.
I feel so bad if you do. Also, don't forget our social media contest. We are running it till May the 31st, so there's still plenty of time to enter that. You can find the post on Instagram or Facebook to enter that. Super easy. It's just kind of a like, share, comment type thing.
Invite
Tag your friends. We're trying to really grow this thing, and it's just seems to be exponentially growing. So
Yeah, every week.
we're trying to just keep that up. So anytime you can, participate in a contest or follow us, like our page, invite your friends to like our page. Rating our podcast is huge. That helps us out tremendously, especially on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So
we might not reply to them all, but we read all the comments.
Yeah.
We're just busy. God, we have not like there's a lot of them. We just don't have time to get to them.
Yeah, I actually need to do that this week. And then of course the hidden messages that we have been putting in the videos, you can still look for those. I plan to put another one in the video this week. So check that out on YouTube. If you listen, that's awesome. But we do post the video version of our podcast on YouTube every Friday as well.
So if you want to see us, go look at that. Go
Although
watch us.
I look kind of
What you talking
wretched
about?
today.
The camera. Well, don't do that.
This bun says, um, yeah, here
Great.
we go.
You
Let's
ready?
Today
This is
we're
gonna.
finishing. Sorry. Today we're finishing our story, so I'm gonna let you take it
Yeah.
away.
Well, not like the story's done, but we're caught up to present day after today. After today, we'll cover pretty much everything up until what we're doing now, why we're doing this, and where we're at.
For sure.
We did do a little bit of a time jump, speed jump last time. There's not a lot that went on in between Shepard's birth and us moving down here and where we are now, just because of what we had going on.
Yeah. Um, so last time we kind of ended it with I'd sort of touched on how I was working from home, but we went sort of from moving into the yeah, excuse
Slide
us,
the
we're
door.
still correcting our puppy, Maggie. Um, went sort of from moving into the little house and we kind of skipped ahead just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Because it was a
but
lot of the same thing. It was a
yeah.
lot of now we have two kids. They're both in schools, going to different schools. One's going to public school. One's in a pre-K.
hmm
Full time jobs,
Yeah, we were both
sick
working full
kids.
time.
Mm.
And between all of that, just the hustle and bustle of life, it was kind of quiet for several
Well,
years,
quiet,
really.
yeah. At like on the outside, yeah. But there was so much turmoil going on the inside. Most
hmm
mornings were fights
hmm
for us, just avoiding stuff, not talking about anything like it happened before, just kind of living our own separate lives,
hmm
trying to tackle things when they come up.
Yeah, doing our own separate things because I don't know, it just seemed easier for a while, you know? I mean, you guys know when you've got two, um, I guess, workers in the
Mhm.
household and they're working 40 hours a week plus, and I mean, you've got time a couple hours every night, but that's it.
Yeah, like that's all
Um,
you have together. And then by that time you're exhausted. You
mhm.
can try to stay up and hang out, but
Well, and
we weren't really putting forth the effort for that either. We were
no, I
just
think
kind of living.
well, and I mean, when you get through that hustle and bustle stage where it's just like you feel like your life revolves around your
Mhm.
kids' schedules, any moment that you have to yourself or you feel like you can do something for yourself,
You're probably still
um,
dealing with a lot of postpartum stuff in those years and a lot of stuff going on. All the medication, still trying to find out what would work. Several different ones, switching to
mhm,
this, switching to that.
yeah, still dealing with a lot of mental health issues, but I was able to bury them pretty well. Trying out different medications and things. I kind of had ups and downs and in betweens. And, I did that for a long, long time and didn't take it very seriously because I felt like things weren't as bad as they had been for
Hmm.
me in the past. And so I didn't take it as seriously as I needed to. And between that and the busyness of our lives and just wanting time alone, and so sort of separating from
Hmm.
each other, we got back into a mess.
Yeah, well,
Um,
we got used to the cycle, which is a scary, dangerous place to be for anybody. Getting too comfortable,
mhm.
getting too okay, and just getting sitting back into a situation can really blind you to what's going on.
Yeah.
We had gotten into this cycle of dealing with episodes, dealing with my episodes, dealing with yours. We go through this. Okay, this is what's happening now. Now it's going to even back out. We'll be good for a while. Well, this is happening. We're having a meltdown here. Here's how we handle it,
Mhm.
but not handling it. Not like just waiting for it to be over and then moving on because man, we've got work, we've got two jobs, we've got kids, we got bills to pay, we're broke, we
Yeah.
don't have anything, we're in debt up to our eyeballs at the point we're like, fuck it, man, what are we doing?
Yeah. Well, it's an exhausting place to be too, like
Mm,
when you only have a certain amount of time in the day to clean the house, to have any time for yourself, to pay bills, to prepare for the following day, to make sure all the kids' school stuff is caught
mm,
up, to make sure you haven't forgotten anything during your work day that you have to
yeah.
complete. Like cramming all that into 2 or 3
Mm,
hours is so hard and it creates such
yeah.
a stress fueled environment. I mean,
Mm,
I've always had really bad anxiety, but I think you developed pretty bad anxiety during that time too,
oh yeah.
because I'd kind of gotten into a bad habit of, like we mentioned last episode, and like you just said, like mornings were huge. But even like, we had gotten sort of back into a place where when we wanted to have time to ourselves individually, we gave each other a hard time about that,
Yeah.
in a childish way. It was so
Very, yeah.
stupid.
And l- looking back at any of those fights, I would be embarrassed to let anybody hear us or see us or know
Mhm.
what the fight was about because it's so silly and it's so like why why wouldn't I want you to go have some time to yourself with everything going on, with as much time as we put into our work and as much pride as we put into it and put like we equate our self-worth to how well we're doing at our job, you know?
Mhm.
And so all that plus what's going on at home, trying to deal with these kids, why would I not want you to take some time away? Why would you not want me to go have a day and go fishing? You know, it's just so silly for us to be
Right.
that way. It's selfish and really immature.
Well, and let's be honest, I mean, God, I love being a mom. Being a mom is the
Hmm.
best job I've ever had. When your kids are in elementary school ages, they
They just
are
don't shut up.
they never shut up, and especially for, you know, I think it was really both of us, but I feel like they especially love to tell me things because
Mm,
I've always tried to make it a point to show interest in
yeah,
anything they wanna tell me and show them that I'm listening to everything they say, as much as I can anyway. But that gets draining and taxing, and you get sick
mm,
of it. You just get so sick of being feeling stuck with just kids to talk to all the
yeah,
time, you know? And I think that's why we were both just needed a break as a family, but individually as well, so desperately
mm,
that when the other wanted to do something for themselves, whether it be go get groceries or
yeah,
whatever, it was like, oh God, I'm gonna have to be here with the kids alone. They're gonna
yeah,
be driving me insane, and I'm already on a 10. And I think it was coming from that place, and it was stupid and
yeah.
petty, but
It is. And we just didn't settle it. You just never would settle it.
yeah.
Just let it go and let it go. That's it, if anybody takes any piece of advice from anything that we say, it, stop sweating the small stuff and just get to the root of the problem. Talk about it.
Mm,
Let's fucking figure it out. Man, we have put ourselves through hell, through literal hell, just for avoiding problems and for
mhm.
avoiding conversations that needed to happen. And I feel silly for that, but I'm sure there's somebody out there who's doing the same shit who should be more mature than me, you know? Like, we're figuring it out. And here we
Yeah.
are.
Well, I think it's more common than people talk about. Like,
Mm,
parents, I know y'all's kids gets on y'all's nerves. I mean, that's just a thing, you know? It's not that you don't love them. It's not that you don't love everything they have to say, but at some point, like, everybody has
yeah.
a limit that they can
No
take.
matter how much you love them, yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Like, there's only so many YouTube videos I can watch. There's only so many rounds of Fortnite I can watch you
There's only
play.
so many facts about sharks that I can know.
Yeah.
I know everything there is to know about sharks. Oh God, my night.
Sharks, bugs, dinosaurs. God, Shepherd
Uh,
is the animal
dude,
master. He's gonna
yes.
be something
I
huge with
cannot
animals
wait
one
to
day.
present, yeah, the crocodile hunter Shepherd Inzer.
Dude, he loves side note, have you noticed how he won't squish a bug
Oh
anymore
yeah.
or let me squish one?
Mm.
He wants to rescue them all, and
He made me take a caterpillar outside the other day.
mhm.
Hmm.
Even the tick that we saw yesterday, he was like, "Don't kill it."
Yeah, well, I killed it.
I was
They're all
like
dead.
I was
I killed
like,
the ticks.
Okay, we won't."
You're not
Um,
bringing Lyme disease into my house.
but I don't squish them normally, but, I mean,
I do.
I
I
fl
squish them for you.
I
I'm the.
definitely flush them down the toilet. Sorry,
uh,
Shepherd.
so we're going through all this, and we're just sunken. You know, we're just in a sunken place, not handling anything. Like during that time of like right after us moving into this little house, I took a promotion at work, took on 3 or 4 times the responsibility, um, and really like I took that so seriously, and I wanted to prove to you and them that like this is it, like this is
Mhm.
I've got this. This is what I've been working for, and this is gonna help, and I can fucking do this, no
Yeah.
problem. Um, and I that's right after you mentioned I'd probably developed some anxiety over those years that I had never experienced, or at least didn't know how to identify.
Mhm.
like what I was dealing with. All the like, oh, maybe that was the feeling that I had every morning before school, or every day before something happened. That little pit in my stomach. Maybe that's what that was, and now it's here, just like overwhelming,
Mhm.
and very shameful of that. I was very shameful or shamed. I don't know the right past tense word. I felt shame for feeling like I couldn't do it, feeling
Mhm.
like it was too much, and I didn't ask for any help, like none
Yeah.
at all.
And we continued on like that, you know.
Mm,
November 2021 is when I started working from home. And like I
mm,
said last episode, you know, the place that I had been employed for years and years at that time. That was the best decision for me as well as the owner of the business, I think. Just to keep everything as easy and, you know, stress-free as possible. And I don't want to dive into a lot of that because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus or whatever. But um, when that happened, I started feeling for the first time in a long time like I had failed at something.
mm,
And it wasn't that I had done a bad job or anything like that, but it was more of a social thing, you
yeah.
know? And I felt like, what is wrong with me? Like, why do people not care for me? Like, why do people not,
Mm,
um, like the positive things that I'm doing and trying to do, you know? Is it that aspect of change, you know? And I'm running through all these things in my head, but putting all the blame on myself,
yeah.
like it was something that I had done wrong, but I did not
Oh,
do
for sure.
anything wrong. As a matter of fact, looking back in retrospect, I did so much more
Yeah.
than anyone
Yeah.
ever deserved.
Isn't being validated, like, doesn't it feel so good?
Oh, yeah.
Just having all of that confirmed, like,
Yeah.
oh man.
There's been some major validation in the past few months that have
Yeah.
just really given me a boost about that time and what I was able to provide during that time.
Yeah.
So I started working from home, which is something I'd never done. I didn't even know it was a possibility, but I really enjoyed it for a while. You know, I was able to really dive into marketing, digital
Hmm.
design, social media management, and learn so much about that. And I find all of that very
Yeah.
interesting. Um, but just still feeling like if you work remote, you just kind of know, unless you have a certain corporation where you like log into a system and you're on that system that so they can see every little thing that you're doing
Hmm.
24/7. Because of the way I am and who I am as a person, I always felt like, well, I'm working from home. I need to be proving like what
Yeah.
I'm doing so that,
Yeah.
and it was just too much. Like I was trying to do too much with that, and it ended up just making it not fun
It was so
anymore.
much more stressful than you thought it was going to be because of the added pressure of feeling like you had to prove, because you already felt like you had to prove yourself in the office. There's so much you're doing there to prove yourself, and now you have to do all of that from home, like not in front of anybody,
Right.
so it just was incredibly stressful, of course.
Well, and because of that, I ended up working more hours than if I
Yeah.
had just been in an office setting because I was constantly trying to overdo everything to ensure that it was apparent that I
Yeah.
was going over and beyond from home to like make this happen. And I worked some magic
Hmm.
during that time. I'm just gonna give myself a pat on the back because I did some good things during that time, but it was
Yeah.
too much for me. I overworked myself, burnt myself out. And in January of 2022, I noticed a quick and rapid decline in my mental health.
Yeah.
I couldn't get out of the bed. I was sleeping all the time. I'm talking about like I would go sometimes over 24 hours
Yeah.
straight sleeping. People couldn't get in touch with me. My family would have to come over and like get me up. And I don't know what snapped in me, or I guess it was just the feeling of worthlessness that I felt
Hmm.
that put me into a place of fuck it, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna lay in it. I'm just gonna give into it because I'm so fucking sick of fighting this.
Hmm.
I'm so sick of this war that is ongoing, you know, year after year after year. I'm struggling and I'm fucking tired of struggling, you know? So I just gave into it, and, I remember, we were I think we had gotten into a bad argument. We were driving in the car, and I can't even remember what we were arguing about, what it was about, but I totally freaked out, and, like, my impulse was to get out. Like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of this car. I gotta have air. I can't breathe. And I tried to open the door, like, while
Yeah.
we were driving, and just felt like I lost total control of my body and mind for, like, it only lasted, like, I don't know, 20 seconds or something, but it was this most terrifying feeling. I'd never felt like, Maggie,
I'm so
this
sorry.
dog. Um, but I had never felt like I had really lost it. Like,
Yeah.
I felt insane for a minute. And I remember going home that night, and we were still not good from the argument. We had not made amends, and I could tell that you were, very, um,
Scared.
hurt and afraid. Yeah, I could see it in your eyes, and I felt it too that night. I felt terrified, and I was like, "I've gotta go in to see my psychiatrist because I feel something bad coming," you know? So I, scheduled an appointment and asked my mom to come with me because I wanted her to be there to well, let me back up. I asked my mom to come with me because she had been mentioning, for a little bit that she had noticed there was something up with me, and I was just like, "No, no," brushing it off. Then after that situation happened, I was like, "Okay, yeah, I think there is something up. I think, one of these medications is not right or not what,
Yeah. And you're
I
on how many
need."
at the time?
Well, before I went to the doctor at that point, it was, 2, I believe, and so we scheduled that appointment. I went in to see my psychiatrist, and I feel like me and mama talked to him about the changes we were noticing, what was going on, that I was afraid,
Mhm.
and let me get the dog up here so she'll be quiet. Um, uh-oh. Um, sorry about that, you guys.
Sorry.
The dog had to be up here on the couch with us because she's a big baby. But his answer to all of that was, "Okay, well, you need this additional medication added to the mix, and we need to do you at this dosage, and then, if this doesn't help you in, 4 to 6 weeks or whatever."
Hey.
We're gonna have to pause for
Yeah.
just a second. So my mom went with me to the doctor, and she was able to express, and I was able to express, sort of the concerns that we had, the changes we were noticing, and his recommendation was, we need to put you on this additional medication.
Hmm.
So that makes 4. I
Jeez.
guess I was taking 3, and this makes 4. That was in February of 2022, and I left feeling,
That was like the very beginning of February.
yeah, it was like literally the first week in February, and I left feeling like very unsure. I didn't feel good about it. I questioned if I needed to just maybe do a stay at North Harbor again so I
Hmm.
could get everything level because
Yeah, you never mentioned that to me.
I didn't really know what to do, but I was like, well, I just have to go by my doctor's recommendation, and he thinks this medication is what I need, so I'm gonna take it. I was just going by what the doctors thought I needed, and I quickly realized that that was a mistake.
Yeah.
Um, I became a different person really fast.
Almost instantly.
I was so I've never in my life felt so I don't give a fuck about anything. I don't feel happy. I don't feel sad. I don't feel mad. I feel like I don't give a fuck. And that was my attitude about a lot of things and a lot of, I guess, pent up frustration and feeling like self sabotage because I felt like very worthless still from our relationship, where it stood, from what I was going through at home and the fact that I felt like a total failure because I was just sleeping all the time. I didn't even feel like I had a life anymore.
Even with all the new medicine, you're on 5 different medicines and you're sleeping all the time,
Yeah, it was 4
angry,
different
sad.
ones.
4.
Yeah, but,
Mm.
I just very quickly I very quickly started making, stupid decisions, uh, after all of this ordeal that we're about to tell you about. I looked back, and that is a side effect of this particular medication that he put me on, which was Abilify, which, if you don't know, I think is a mood stabilizer, antipsychotic, or something like that. But it makes you lack inhibition, um, and your decision making can be greatly affected. And it's like a red flag. Like if you see yourself, start to not care, start to spend a bunch of money you don't have, start to
Mm.
fantasize about driving to the beach and, things like that. That's when you're supposed to call your doctor, but I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
And I just, it wasn't very apparent to me at first. It was apparent to you and to the people in my life that loved me and that talked to me regularly that something was up. I
It's all right.
just need a minute
It's
to
okay.
collect.
Well, because as a spouse, you're not supposed to take any blame on yourself because you have no control over what someone else does. Um, but we had gotten into this, like, we've been married at the time that this is going on. Right, this was right before our 10-year anniversary when you got put on this medicine a couple weeks before that. And over 10 years, we had been through a lot of cycles of this. I have seen you go through every stage of mania and depression and psychosis that you have gone through. I've seen all of it. I've sat there with you through everything, gotten mad about it, gotten sad about it, tried to help you with it, felt helpless, felt useless, felt all sorts of things. So by the time that this is happening, we've been we've been slowly drifting apart for probably 3 years, 2.5, 3 years since we've been down here. We aren't talking about anything of substance, of anything real at all.
Aren't spending time together.
None. And the time that we did would be a couple hours on a date night or a couple hours here and there. And a lot of times it'd end up in a fight because I would say something you didn't like. You'd be mad. I mean, up until this point, we're still fighting about what happened in 2014. We're still fighting about what happened when we were separated, and me with that with this other girl, and all these things are still being drug up, and nothing's being solved. And so when the changes start happening in February, I I just got angry. I didn't have any other reaction other than being terrified and mad because there's nothing I could do, and I was just watching you. And so, like, what do I say? Hey, get the fuck out of bed. Get the fuck up. What are you doing? Because that's just gonna start a fight. So I say nothing. I just get mad, and then I hold that against you for a while. You know, we don't talk about it.
Yep. I think there was a major turn on your birthday because
Mm.
your birthday that year, uh, we had talked about maybe going to dinner with the kids or something like that, and I slept all day, and you tried to get me up, and you tried to get me up, and I just could not get up. I couldn't get up. I couldn't bring myself to do it. And you and the boys went without me, and I was I felt so guilty about that, and I still do. Um,
It's in the past now.
But we had a huge fight about that, a huge blow up, and said a lot of things. I said a lot of things that I wish I could take back. I was mad and angry, and not at you, but I was taking it out on you because I didn't know what else to do. And I think that the medication was influencing me really severely, and I didn't realize it. Um, so the medication paired with my overall just angst and anger and just feeling resentment and just feeling like I didn't care anymore. Um, I made a really stupid mistake. And, um, it was with another man and it was never anything physical, but we did share, we messaged for months back and forth. And I don't know why I did it. I just felt like, I don't know, I just felt like I didn't know what to do and I was looking to feel anything. And so when something came along that made me feel something other than terrible, I just jumped at it. And
Yeah.
and that went on for a long time and I don't even know who I was during that time from February all the way to beginning mid-July of 2022. I felt like I was living two lives, and it was just so stupid because it was all like a game I was playing with myself. And every day I would think like, how do I fix this? How do I undo it? How do I make it stop? And I don't know what was up with my mind during that time, but I felt the most unlike myself that I ever have. I wasn't even dressing like myself. Looking back on pictures, like I was spending a lot of money that we really didn't need to spend and putting a lot on myself that was unnecessary, just stupid stuff, and looking back, it was just I disconnected from everything.
I
And
think
I
you gave
think
up. I think you gave up on you, and you gave up on me, and you definitely had given up on us.
I felt like
Um,
there was no hope. I felt so hopeless and I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and
mm. Well, this particular individual that you're speaking of, it's to be noted that there are scum out there, whether you like it or not. Um, and in 2014, when we separated, like this person who doesn't even live here, like when we were separated in 2014 for those 2 months, as soon as word got out that we weren't together, he slid right in. I'm seeing your messages then too, right? This was a calculated attack, not attack, but you were targeted. Not to say that it's not your fault, right? Because obviously there's fault at play, but it's in the past. It's done. Um,
so
no matter the hurt, you know, anything you can recover from anything. I truly believe that. I think that anybody is capable of coming back from anything that has happened to them. Um, if you're willing to put in the work. It's a
yeah.
huge if. And when I when I look back on February to June 2022, it makes me feel silly because it was so obvious, right? Like the way you dress, like all the social media pictures, like. But I was so distracted by my own shit and so wrapped up in myself and like feeling bad about myself and what I'm doing at work and what I'm worth and why isn't she happy? Like what am I doing wrong? What is not like what am I not enough of? We've done it for this long, like I know what I know and I know what I feel and I know what's true and it's just not coming together and I don't there's just something was missing. There was a piece missing between us. And we found it.
Yeah, I mean, the beginning of July, I was very distraught. I reached out to a friend of mine and was like, I don't know what else to do. I need to talk to you about this. I'm in a situation. I've gotten myself into some shit and I don't know what to do. And I remember I went up, spent the night with her, We talked about it, and she was pretty much like, you know, you're making a huge mistake. You need to stop this or end it with Corey, one of the two. What's it going to be? And I was like, well, I could not live without Corey. I have always felt that. And even though we've been through some terrible times and we've been awful to each other at different points in our marriage, deep down, I've always felt like you were it for me.
Since 2008.
And what went on with that guy, like you said, it's totally my fault. I made a huge mistake that I won't be able to take back, and I have to live with that. Um, but I do think I wasn't my true self,
Mm-mm.
and I finally realized it at the beginning of July, because I had started to have feelings of not wanting to be a
It's okay.
I had started having feelings of not wanting to be a mother anymore. I had thought about terrible things, not to hurt them in any way, my goodness,
God, no.
but I just had mentioned to my mom, um, in desperation one day, I just wish you could take them. I just wish you could have them and take them. And as soon as I said it, it was like everything clicked, and I was like, whoa, this isn't me. I don't even feel like myself. What is
Mm.
wrong with me? And everything started crashing around me,
Yeah.
you know. I reached out to the guy and I pretty much told him that this was wrong. I couldn't do this anymore, that I loved you and that it we could not anymore, and that was it. It was done. Um I deleted, my app, and that I thought was the end of it. I had talked to my friend, and um I was just feeling like maybe I can move on, but I think there was a part of me deep down that knew that we couldn't until you knew. And I didn't make any effort to delete anything on my phone because I thought, if he sees it, and we'll just see what happens. And I didn't really know how to approach it with you because I knew how deeply it would hurt you and how stupid it was of me and how much regret and shame I felt that it had even happened, that I had allowed it to transpire, that I had allowed myself to spiral into this place that I know very well and that I'm so fucking sick of. It
Mm.
makes me so mad. I was just so over it. And then I think it was the end of July. You had come home from work and I was asleep, like always.
Mm. Yeah. We're yeah, I'm going back there now. Yeah, I came home from work and you were asleep, which wasn't completely out of the ordinary. And uh one of the major clues. Oh my God. Sorry.
Oopsie.
One of the major clues that I just in like first of all, like check on your people. Check on your people. If you fucking love somebody, check on them. No matter don't let yourself get so sunken and so into yourself that you are just woe is me, feeling bad about yourself. I didn't even fucking know what was going on with you because I was so wrapped up in me. And when I went to get on your phone one day in fucking March or April and your passcode is different and you say, "Oh, well, I had to change the passcode because I didn't want Shepard just going on my phone whenever he wants." Like that should have been an instant indicator for me, but it wasn't. So April, May, June, July, I come home from work at the end of July, and Shepard's got your phone, and you're asleep, and I'm supposed to go on a fishing trip that night, like an overnight trip. Uh, and so I was upset because, well, I have to get all this stuff rigged up. I have to get all my stuff packed together. I have to pack and call this guy. I thought you were watching the boys, so I can go do all this, and you were asleep. So I said, I'm gonna figure out what the fuck is going on with her, and I snatched your phone out of Shepard's hand. Um, and I only, I, and I initially didn't find a lot. because I didn't know what I was looking for. I didn't think I'd find out. Like, I wasn't looking for anything. I wasn't looking to find you cheating. I wasn't looking. I just wanted like maybe you said something to somebody that I can just understand what's going on and just try to help. Try to be there. Um, and really, the way it happened was I asked you about it, and we didn't really talk about it very long at that moment. Because I woke you up with it, and I still went fishing. Because I because you said whatever, I don't even know what you said, and I remember you texting me on the way to the lake that night, and you said no matter what, we're gonna be okay. You said we're gonna get through this because we're supposed to be together. And again, not knowing the extent of what has happened behind my back and not knowing what's really going on, that should have been another indicator that there was more to come for me to find out. So it wasn't until I got back and you were still asleep when I got back. We went back to sleep. I came home the next morning at what, 9 a.m. and we spent the whole day talking, crying, and finding out. Um, and honestly, I just thought you were trying to get back at me. Really, initially, I thought, well, she's finally realized that she hates me, and she has hated me since 2014, and this is what it's come to, and this is what I deserve, and so this is how it ends. Um, but it wasn't that, and and that's not what you showed me. You know, that's not what you said to me that day.
I know that after that conversation that day, I felt so bad. Um, I had cold turkeyed off of all medication, which again, do not do that.
Don't.
It's so dangerous. I can't believe that I did that, but I did. I
I had no
stopped
idea.
taking it. Really, I'd stopped taking it, once I started having feelings of like not wanting to be a mother and like stuff like that. I was like, fuck this. This stuff, I don't think it's for me. I can't, I've got to get my mind right. So I'd stopped taking it. Um, and I told myself, so many years I've spent taking all this medicine, trying to make a pill fix it, and maybe I need to look inward a little more in depth. And maybe I need to do whatever I need to do to make sure that I didn't lose my family. So I made a commitment to myself right here on this couch, all those months ago that my life was going to change, and I didn't exactly know how, but that it had to happen or we were going to, something terrible was going to happen. I felt like we were at the true rock bottom,
Yeah,
especially for myself because I felt like I had wronged you. It was all my fault. I had all this regret and wishing I could take things back and seeing how it was affecting you and not just you, but other relationships in my life. And I told myself that I was going to totally humble myself because I had to fight to get my family back and
mm,
to get things back to a place where we could heal. And I think that I was able to show you that pretty early on. And
immediately.
um, we had, some really sad talks over the first couple months, but we had some really positive ones too. And it was in one of those conversations, probably right here on this couch, that we said, we have got to stop waiting for things to happen for us, waiting on things to get easy, waiting on things to be happy, waiting on, I don't know what the fuck we're waiting on. We have to make the conscious choice every day to make our lives better. It's an intentional thing we have to
Exactly
do.
that. Yeah. Now we live with intent. For a decade, we did not. We lived with no intention. We only, for 10 years, almost 11 years, we woke up every day just hoping to survive. Just hoping to survive. If I can make it until my head hits the pillow, then it's over. I don't have to worry about it until the next day. And I'm so glad that we're done doing that. Um,
It was those feelings and that realization.
well, it was those feeling that realization and like your actions, like your attitude, from that moment, um, from that day that we had that all that going on. Uh, I felt like I had you back. Like I was seeing you for the first time in a really long time since we lived in Huntsville together. Because something when we had Sawyer, like something snapped and something was different in you, and I felt like I had you back. Um, and like you were happy to be back, and like all the shit that I've gone through since that moment, and like all the healing that I've had to do, and the looking inward, and the growth is only because of what you've done and what you've been able to do and what you've shown me is possible. Um, because full disclosure, in the months from July until probably a few months ago, were the worst I've ever felt, the worst that I've been mentally in my whole life. Um, which is such an odd juxtaposition next to how great we were doing, and how great our relationship was getting and growing and continues to grow. I felt like I was in this like I don't know how like I was in like another world where like everything happening around me was the best thing that can happen to me, and everything on the inside was dying and was just dead. And I there's no way that I would have survived any of that if it weren't for you. If it weren't for what you've done for me and for this family and for yourself. Like you're on still zero medications, no medication since July of 2022, and
That
you're fucking
day,
amazing.
thank you. You've grown a lot too. But that day was the first time in my life where I felt like it was up to me to make something happen. And um, I started small. You know, I was broken into a million pieces, and you were broken into a million pieces. And I'm like, I'm just going to have to glue us back together one piece at a time.
And I did not make that easy at all. Not like I was mean to you or angry to you, but I was just so sad. And
That's almost
there was,
harder than if you were mad.
I just felt like, well, I mean, you know every feeling that I went through, because I put you through all that, and that's part of what I was dealing with. I felt like, oh shit, this all started, and this only happened because of me, because of what I did so long ago. Started this snowball effect, and all this has happened since then because of you, and this is your fault. So this is what you fucking deserve. So sit in it and just feel it, just eat it, man. And you would not let me do that. You wouldn't.
I think that was because I just was feeling and appreciating your love so much and feeling so bad that there was nothing I could do. There's nothing I could take back. There's nothing I can say to make it easier or better except be a better wife, be a better mother, be a better confidant, be a better support system. Um, and part of the changes that I started with the thought of I hate myself. I've always hated myself since I was a kid. I've hated myself. I hate who I am. I hate how I look. I hate what I stand for. I couldn't it was so hard for me to find even one little thing that I could pat myself on the back for. So there was a lot of worthlessness that I felt, and I was like, "I have to find something to love about who I am, because how can I be these things for the people in my life that are so important if I hate myself?" Um, it's not fair to them, and it's not fair to me. And I get emotional talking about it, not out of a place of sadness, but just a place of, like, relief
Mm, yeah.
because little by little every day, we started growing, we started loving, we started giving grace, we started choosing
So
joy,
huge.
we started choosing to be happy, we started choosing to communicate in a way that was respectful and loving.
Mm,
We started depending on each other
yeah.
in times of need. We started stop we started to stop hiding our true feelings
Yeah.
and just being
Mm,
honest no matter what,
yeah.
because I mean, like I said, it was rock bottom, and we're climbing out of this hole.
Yeah. That was absolute rock bottom for us.
But I mean, every day little things. I started with, you know, I started with I'll do my job, I'll do the work that I need to do for my job, and then every other moment that I'm not doing that, I will devote to this family. I've never been a cook. I hate cooking. I hate it. I suck at it. It's awful. If I could eat out every meal of my life, I would do it. The food tastes better when you eat out. Like I hate eating at home. But because I knew that you knew that, I was like, that would be a huge statement if I could push myself to just start cooking dinner sometimes, you
Yeah.
know? You've never asked that of me. You've known since before you married me that I didn't like to cook, so, like, that was never an expectation in our relationship, I don't feel like, but I knew that that would say something to you. So I started there, Started going to get groceries, started cooking some probably
It
shitty-ass
was
food.
good. Don't say that.
Um,
Beef tips and rice
I
fucking
mean, don't
slap.
lie, it was a lot of spaghetti because I can make spaghetti, I can make macaroni and cheese,
Like a mofo.
I can make, anything frozen. I
Mm,
can tear up a hamburger helper or a skillet meal, but, yeah, I started making efforts there, and the feeling that I would have when you would come home and be, I'm not gonna cry
it's
because
okay.
I know it sucks when I cry so much on these
No, it's
episodes, but, it's joyful tears because I could see how bright it made you. Just that one little thing. I could see how the 4 of us, even though I would have to make pretty much 4 different meals because we all eat different food, we would all sit on a pallet in the floor
eat together.
and eat and just enjoy presence
Yeah.
and the blessing of each other's company.
Yeah.
For the first time,
That we took it for granted forever.
our kids blossomed. Uh, com I mean, totally blossomed. They were
Yeah.
like daylight and dark because we have such close bonds with our kids. They can pick up whenever anything is off. We
Good
don't
boy,
argue
I
in
need to
front of them.
change.
We don't do all of these conversations in front of them. We have tried our whole marriage, sorry, to make sure that we don't let them see that, but they are so in tune with
Mhm.
our emotions and so empathetic that they knew something was different. They could
Yeah.
feel the positive energy. We started going on more dates. We started um you know playing games together.
Yeah.
We started I went and we talked to my parents. I apologized to your parents for what I had done to you because I knew that they were also hurt and I just wanted everything to be in a as positive a place as I had control over.
And you learned how to take control finally.
I did. I started realizing every day, and I think you did too, that all we have to do is like,
Hmm.
choose it.
Yeah.
You know, when I would wake up and feel like, God, I look like shit today. I feel like a fucking hippo. I'm so tired. I'm going back to sleep. But whereas, months before that, I would have just went back to sleep.
Hmm.
I would stop myself and say, "No, we're going to turn the light on. We're going to make the bed and
Yeah.
we're going to do something, but we're not going to do this. Not today."
Yeah.
If you would have been a fly on the wall, you probably would have thought I was a absolute lunatic because I would 100% be like, "Nope. Nope, 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 nope. We're not doing this today, Hannah. We're not doing this today. Today is going to be a good day. I, have so many things to be thankful for. We are in a good place. We're in a place of healing. Things are good." And it was just like taking that one little thing and starting there turned our whole days
Yeah.
around.
Turned our lives around.
And we were able to turn each other's days around when
Yes.
we could see that the other one was leaning more towards a negative
Hmm.
place. And we're like reaching our hands out for each other,
Yeah.
where we weren't doing that for a long, long time.
No. Oh no, no. We just let it, dude. One little thing, one fight in the morning, getting the kids ready for school, would ruin the whole day. And we'd fight when we got home, you know? And we just don't do that anymore. And we haven't. There's no reason
We
to. To me,
haven't.
it seems silly to even like it's so I don't know, man. Things are so clear now, which I guess we took the fucking blinders off finally.
Well, and y'all, this story, our story, you know, I felt like in July of last year, we closed a book of our marriage and put it on a shelf. And we started a new book because I feel better and different than I've felt in 15 years.
Mm,
Oh man.
yeah,
And it feels so good. Like our lives are changed. And that's when we started talking about doing this podcast. That's when we started talking
yeah,
about what can we do because other people have got to see and know about what is happening here.
yeah.
This is not something we can keep to ourselves. People are sick of seeing, the Kim Kardashian reality TV
Mm,
bullshit that people want to display on social media. We were this and now we are that. I
yeah,
mean, like black and white. It
yes.
it was,
And it's not like we don't have bad days. It's not like we don't ever have
oh
these
yeah.
situations. We still had things to grow. Like it took months for us to like have it completely well rounded off. We'd have a great day and then I would, sink down and feel bad about myself, or I would swipe our phone and try to find some extra shit to just to feel something like that.
Mhm.
And we just had to keep going, just keep hitting it head on and head on and head on and keep facing it and keep facing it. Went to marriage counseling a few times. I I sought out a personal therapist. I haven't gone in a while, but that was the first time in my life that I've done that. And you really encouraged me to do that because of what you saw I was dealing with and that it was physically affecting me more.
Mhm.
Like I dropped what, 25 pounds. I was real skinny. I was not doing well and
Mhm.
I was working full time.
Mhm.
This whole time that this is happening, like from March 2022 up until this last fall, I was coaching Sawyer's football team.
Mhm.
So 5 days a week, I was going to work and leaving straight from work right to the football field until 8 o'clock, and
Mhm.
then coming home.
Right.
And it was a lot. It was too much.
You were drained, and I feel like we did a really good job in the beginning, excuse me, when it was really hard, of, like I said, reaching our hands out for each other,
Mm,
but communicating exactly how we were feeling, being totally open, not holding anything back for fear of, whatever. Just saying, look, I'm
you
having,
did. It took me a while to get to that point
yeah.
because of what happened. There was a lot of things that I just didn't. I was keeping it in. I don't want to cause a fight.
Right.
If there's something I really have to ask her, but I don't want to ask, something I want
Mhm.
that I just have to know, but if I ask, it's going to cause a fight.
Mhm.
It took me a while to get through that. And that's what part of the therapy was, and just realizing shit. And honestly, seeing you being the way you were every day is what made that happen for me. Seeing your dedication to me and to our family, to our kids, to the house, to doing everything that you said you were going to do, you did. Everything that you said you felt, you showed me. Everything that you said was going to happen happened. And that was all. Like I'm a very visual learner. I have to see things and like physically do them to learn. It's harder for me just to read it and then do it. So seeing you do these things and the way that you and just the love I felt coming from you
And
made
I
it
want
so easy.
well, and I'm glad that you saw that. And I wanted to say a couple of things. Again, this is without medication. Now,
Yeah.
I think because I was doing some more homeopathic things for my mental health and intentional things in my daily routine, um, I've been able to be off all medication and I hope to not have to take any more. But that is also not to say that
Yeah.
there are tons of people out there that do need that medication every day. And if you need it, take it.
Hmm.
Because there are
Yeah.
times when I don't know that I could have done it on my own from the place I was in. And so to each his own. But for me, I'm so proud after, taking probably 100 different kinds of
Yeah.
medication over the past 15 years that
There, there's got to be some accountability held on these doctors because I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me, but I'm under the impression that these medications are not supposed to be a permanent fix. They're supposed to always be temporary to get you to a point to where you can work on yourself and learn these things and to better yourself and to do the work to be better. No one's supposed to be on these forever
for
for the
some
rest of your
they
life. Well, then why do you go back to the doctor and things of this? They just up your dosage, or they give you a different one, or they add one to it. They're not helping you. They're not trying to help you. They're not. If you go to somebody and talk to them, plus the medication, there's got to be. It is two parts to it because for so long you took it as that. You took it as this pill is going to fix me. This is going to fix what's wrong with me. So down it goes. That didn't work, doc. Here's another pill. These two pills are going to fix me, and that's just not what it is. And that's what it got us to that point.
I think that I may disagree with you a little
That's fine.
there because I think there are a lot of people that probably need medication forever, especially if you're diagnosed with something like schizophrenia,
Mm,
bipolar disorder. I mean,
mm,
when you go through stages of mania,
true.
they put you on lithium, and some people cannot, they have to have that for their brain chemicals to
Hmm.
rebalance and for them to function. But I think it all depends on where you're at and
Yeah.
what you're dealing with specifically. I think that if you're just diagnosed with a major depressive disorder or some type of anxiety disorder, um, everybody's different. But I think for myself anyway, I was able to get to a place to find things that I could do that were more beneficial for me than medication ever was. Um, and there's probably people that do, some things at home and in conjunction with medications and, do what you need to do. But
Yeah. Wait,
the
don't
moral of
take
the
my advice. I'm not
story,
a doctor.
well, and I mean, the moral of the story is you just have to listen to your
Yeah.
body and your mind and be in tune with yourself and know when
Yeah.
something needs to change.
I think there needs to be emphasis put on putting forth effort for yourself, for anybody else, but you have to do that for you because I mean, what are we teaching people? Like what are we teaching them by saying there's nothing you can do. You can't do anything to help yourself. Don't even try. Don't even try to help yourself. Do this. Just take this, and get away from here. Like why aren't we helping people? Like look inward and say, man, like can I just try to be better in this way? Can I take this one little area of my life and try to work on that and feel good about it?
You
That's what I want
know,
people to do.
there's maybe an argument to be made that maybe mental health care professionals, psychiatrists, psychologists, I can't remember the one that can prescribe medication, but maybe instead of going directly to, you get a new patient that
Hmm.
comes in, I'm very depressed. They've got all the signs of major depression. Instead of offering them a pill, offer them, like, a health and wellness plan. Like, I
Yeah.
want you to follow this diet and exercise routine for 30 days and then come back and see me and tell me how you're feeling. Or I'm going to refer you over to this personal trainer. I want you to work with them for 30 days.
Yeah. Or even mental exercises. If you
Yeah,
can't physically do that, here's some mental exercises.
meditation.
Yeah, yes, meditate. Go outside and breathe some air. Yes, you might need this medicine to calm your anxiety so you can do these things. But here's a medicine. Calm
Mhm.
yourself down and go do these things to better yourself. And then you might start feeling better.
Well, and
And
just
then feel like
make
you don't need
that
it.
that could be the first pass,
Yeah.
right? Like, that's your 30-day trial. Like, we're gonna try to do this without
Yes.
medication because your body is, we wanna try to let your body handle it and
Mm,
let you handle it because it does good things for your mental health when you feel like you're doing the progress
yeah.
too, you
And
know?
they don't really know what this pill is going to do to this person because everybody's different and it's so fucking shady because every doctor is being visited by different pharmaceutical companies pushing this different medicine, so you might go to two different doctors for the same exact thing and they're giving you two different pills because they get paid differently for it. It's fucked. It should be totally revamped. It's
Mhm.
so bad for you.
Yeah, and mental health care in America, I mean, every day I'm reminded that we need
Dude, yes.
major reform in all areas of mental health care, and especially with the way that pharmaceutical reps run everything in this whole fucking country. Um, it.
Well, all the politicians are in bed with them. They're letting this happen. That's why the homeless problem is so bad. And I mean, not here. We don't have this big problem here, but it's getting worse every year. But there's cities and states where if you fix the mental health problem, you would fix the homeless problem because these people they're not right and they need help. They need this medication to get back to a point and then get off of it. And they're functioning
Well,
members.
and I mean, let's be real, this is sort of off on the side, but in talking about pharmaceutical reps running everything, I know that there are medications that people have to have. There are people who do have chronic pain that need
Mhm.
medication, but we're pumping opioids to our
Dude.
whole fucking country, starting at whatever age if you have surgery.
Mm. Oh yeah.
And I'll never let my kids take an
Fuck
opioid.
no.
I'll never, ever let the hospital give them an opioid. They can have extra strength Tylenol, but that shit is so addictive. I've watched it destroy
Oh
lives.
yeah, we've seen it
But
happen.
all the while, they're pushing all these pills on people to fix them, but God forbid you grow a plant in your backyard that could fix you real nice,
Mm.
and do a
Mhm.
lot more for you and has proven studies and statistics that show it's beneficial for us. It's not something that could hurt us.
Yeah.
It's a lot better for your body than opioids if you're in, pain or anxiety, depression, seizure disorders. I
Yes.
mean, the list goes on for
And on
marijuana if
and
you
on
haven't
and
caught on.
on. You can make rope, you can make concrete, you can build like
Well, and I know it's illegal in Alabama, and it's just really unfortunate, but it goes to show that it's not about what's truly out there to help people. It's about what can be most profitable.
yeah, I guarantee you there is no thought put into what helps people when it comes to at the tippity tip top, they don't give a fuck. The scientists in the labs are trying to make shit that's gonna fuck with your brain chemistry to make you feel a certain way. And if it works, they're gonna sell it to you. That's all the fuck they care about. They don't care what it's gonna do to you long term, whether it's addictive, whether you're gonna whether you're gonna come off of it and all of a sudden want to jump in front of a fucking train. They don't know and they don't give a fuck. That's why it
Mm.
has to be taken seriously, and that's why I'm. Don't get me wrong. I was not saying that the medicine is bullshit. No one needs medicine. Don't go do that. That's never what I've thought. I really disagree with people thinking that it's the solution to all their problems and that it's just a fix all right now because nothing is. There is nothing in the world that is a fix all for all your problems because it
Right.
doesn't exist because we create our own problems. Dive into yourself. Figure out what did you do? What happened to you? Why do you feel this way? Is it right that I feel this way? Am I validated that I feel this way? Am I fucking crazy for thinking this? Talk to yourself. Fucking figure this shit out. Sorry.
No, I'm there with you. I was thinking about something that resonated with me, sort of along those lines, and about looking inward. I love Michelle Obama so much. I love everything she stands for. I just absolutely adore Michelle Obama. If you ever hear this podcast, please hit me up. That's like my celebrity. if I could hang out with any celebrity, it may be Nicole Kidman or Michelle Obama.
Hmm.
But there was a Netflix special that came out about her book, The Light We Carry, and oh, it's so good. If you haven't seen it, you have to watch it. But she talks with Oprah a lot about um, everything is a choice. The way that we respond to things, we
Mm.
have control over that. You may not be able to control how other people feel about you or what they think about you or how they treat you, but you have to just take pride in the choices and the things that you can
Yeah.
control and let your light shine, carry your light consistently every day and let people see that it doesn't have to be so hard. It's really easy to have a good day. You just have to choose it and to be a good person, and to change the
Gosh,
world.
how much better would the world be if everyone just worried about themselves? You can control what you can control. You can
Mhm.
control how you feel and how you think and how you react to things. I can't control what you do at all. So why the fuck get mad about it?
And how you react,
That's
that's
so
good.
huge. Yeah.
She actually says that, especially when she was first lady. And even like when Trump was president and all that, things that bothered her, things that would have been easy for her to lash out. But Michelle Obama has never had one single canceled moment. She's never had one moment where she was not
Hmm.
choosing the high road. And she said it was so hard, especially as first lady, but she said one of the most important things is she never reacted to something in that moment or made a decision in a moment where
Hmm.
she was feeling any type of way. She always gave it a good amount of time and then she would decide to react because when we make decisions and we react based upon fleeting emotions like anger or,
Yeah.
sadness or whatever, uh, it's just you're never going to say what you need to say or what,
No.
and sometimes it's not even beneficial for you to say anything at all.
Yeah, because what you're saying might not be how you feel. It's
Right.
how your brain chemistry is reacting to what you've just heard
Yeah.
and seen.
Um,
Is that okay? Or did that jack everything up?
oh, it's good.
Okay.
It's still rolling, but we do need to wrap it up for this episode because
Okay.
that pretty much, I think, concludes where we're at. But
I would just like to say before we end, to all the men out there, that's what we just talked about is so fucking important about being reactionary and thinking about the way that you react to things in front of your children, in front of your wife, at work. If you're in any position of leadership, like if you're a leader, if you're a husband and a father, you're a leader automatically. You're supposed to be leading these people. Not that you're their fucking boss, but they're looking to you to see how to feel and how things are going and to be calm. Are we protected? Your reactions to things are incredibly important. When we flip, when we flip out and we get mad and we just are so reactionary, our children see that and that's how they're going to react. That's how they're going to be trained to react to things. And if they see you like in a hard situation and they see you take a breath and think about it and then react in a calm manner, it changes everything. And it
yeah.
changes the way that they're going to carry themselves through school and through everything they're doing in their lives. Like how many kids get in fucking trouble at school because they react to things the way that they see their father reacting.
Hmm.
They take that so to heart. They emulate everything that we do. Everything.
I agree. And that goes for women too,
Yeah.
that our lives are in the best place they have been. We want to give back to you all. We wanted to share this knowledge. And we wanted to let you know that no matter how bad off you think things are, there is always a way out of any situation.
Mm.
There's always healing that can be found. You don't have to be religious to find it.
No, you don't.
You don't, because I believe it comes from a place within yourself. And I believe that
I think we're proof
anybody
of
can
that.
do it. Yeah, and we're proof of it. And we're living our best life. We're
Hmm.
choosing joy every day. And we're going to share that with you guys in episodes to come.
Yes.
This wraps the story of who we are and
Up to this point,
up to
story's
this
not over.
point. But
Yeah, yeah. From now on, you're gonna get parts 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 of the rest of our life. Now we get to have fun.
yeah, it's a story that's still being written. And starting next week, we'll be kind of going into our more normal episode layouts. So we're excited about that because that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
So to
Probably
wrap
less
up,
tears.
oh yeah, I don't think there'll be many tears anymore. We got the hard part over with, and we would love to hear what you think, thoughts you have, any questions you have. If you want us to dive into anything that you've heard us talk about with our story, just let us know. We'll definitely
Yeah,
answer.
if you have any questions, hit us up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll answer,
We're
while
completely
recording.
open books. Yeah, we have no secrets. We have nothing to hide anymore.
That's right. Don't forget our contest, Facebook or Instagram. Find the contest post, follow the instructions, and there's going to be an awesome prize for that. We'll draw for that.
Awesome.
We'll draw for that May 31st. Um, look for the hidden message in the YouTube video. If you haven't been doing that, we've got some vinyl stickers we're having made, and then we will start shipping those out if you comment the timestamp on our YouTube video of when the hidden item or line is. And then Ship to Shore with Saul and Chip. We mentioned that we have that episode. We decided that it would be cool to release it on Mother's Day.
Yes.
So Sunday, I think it's the 14th, we will be releasing their first little episode just as a little bonus. I did put together a little video, but it's not a big deal, And then, of course, thank you for joining us today. And we're stoked for next Friday.
Cannot wait.
I can't
It's
wait
gonna be awesome.
to talk about a lot of things, but we'll dive into it next week. Thanks,
Excellent.
guys.
Thanks. You didn't let me hang in this time.